All right, so today we are taking a look at the 8x10 shed that was sent to me at no charge for this review. Now this shed took us just under 5 hours to put together, and the only reason it took us 5 hours to put together is because if you'll read the reviews, you'll find that many people comment that the directions are pretty hard to understand. You just gotta follow them very clearly, and then sometimes you've even gotta go back and redo some stuff. Let me show you a little bit of the assembly process and walk you through parts of it. Okay, so the first thing that we did here on this shed was that we went ahead and we laid everything out, got all the parts and pieces together. You see my tiller out here because we leveled our ground with the tiller, and we leveled it at an 8x10, but once we got this bottom frame laid out, it's not quite 8 foot. So one thing that I would recommend is that you get it leveled out as best you can, and then once you get your pieces laid out on your bottom frame, then you're going to need to do a little bit more leveling. You can see how far off I am right there. But when you put your pieces out, make sure you lay them out first. And these bottom pieces, notice on the inside here, it's going to be concaved, and these are convexed on the outside. So this is what's going to be facing up. And notice how the screws go in. And then when you get to your corners, this is what the corner is going to look like. So they're going to overlap, and you're going to screw those together, and then you've got your corner support piece right here where all of these are going to be screwed together as well. You will need to manipulate just a little bit. You can see how that flexes so that the holes do match. There is a little bit of play in there, so make sure that you get those lined up good. And again, if you need to flex, you go ahead and do a little bit of flexing like that to make sure the holes line up. Another thing that I will say is that I would not use electric drills like that. I would go ahead and use hand screwdrivers, just simply because you're going to strip out a screw or you're going to strip out a hole if you're going to use electric. So go ahead and just use a hand screwdriver, just like Dalton's getting ready to do right here. And the screws are really small, so it's not going to be a big deal. And you can do it. There's the nuts on that, and then that's the size of screw that we're using here. Very small. And then these are the screws that are on the frame that you see. So just a few twists with a regular manual screwdriver, and I think that'll be fine. Okay, so we are working on framing this up, and I'm not sure if you can see just how windy it is out here right now. And so it is taking 4 people to do this. Reason being is because you put these corner pieces up here like this, and where we're at, it's just so windy that you need people to hold those as you begin to put your top brace on. And okay, so currently we do have 3 walls up. So here in the corner, we did have to take the C2 off in order for the holes to match up, and then we just put that back on later. So on the other side, this is what it looks like. All of those screws had to go in. I did use an electric drill to put those in, made it so much faster. So you're going to do the top, and then you're going to do the bottom, and then you're going to come back and do the ones right through the center, and those are just going to be a nut and a bolt. And so you're just going to... Okay, so we've got our roof built, and we are getting ready to install on top of the shed. So okay, so we are putting all of the edge pieces on here, and putting the roof on was quite a deal. So down at the bottom end, you can see there are some screw holes down there, and then there is an overhang. Make sure the overhang is down towards the bottom and not at the top. If you have an overhang at the top, then you're not going to be able to put your ridge cap on correctly. But that's what the top looks like. That's what the sides look like. And the sides are actually pretty flimsy here, but we're going to hopefully shore that up a little bit with the ridge cap that we're getting ready to put on. But we'll take a look at this all the way around here. There's our corner pieces that we got on there, which really firmed that up. Looks pretty good. And so now we are getting ready to put that ridge cap on. We are actually, we are 3 hours in right now, 3 hours in. And the reason is because when it comes to the roof, the instructions are not real clear. We're going to step right inside here, and I want to show you that when you are looking at this right here, these top pieces are opposite of these top pieces. So the way you're going to look at this is as if you were facing your shed, and these are going to be on the left side, these are going to be on the right side. That's going to be a huge help to you. Plus, this piece right here, the 8’10-7L, it does overhang, and then once you overhang and you put all of your valleys, peaks and valleys together as you begin to lay down each sheet, your last piece is also going to overhang this much. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but you get a little bit of an overhang right there, and that overhang is going to be all the way around. So, okay, so inside the shed, I am 5'4", and the ceiling is just about 6 foot at the center of it, and then about 5.5 foot off to the sides. Now, this is a pretty lightweight shed, which means that if you do not have it completely level, you can get a couple of guys and you can actually lift this up and move it to a level spot. Here I am with just one arm, and I can lift it up. So one thing that I think would be very important for you to do if you are in a place that has a lot of wind is over here in these corners. I know it's going to be really hard to see, but the corner plates do have a hole in them, so you can actually anchor those down. We do have some vents here so that air can pass through, and so that we don't develop any moisture or any mold. I'm going to be able to put my lawnmowers in here and some garden tools. It does come with a set of keys so that you are able to lock it from the outside. You do also have this double door that swings out, and it locks here in the center at the top and the bottom. You got the spring locks, and so you're able to open up both doors when you need to. Now, when you are making sure that your ground is level, you also want to take into consideration your doors and how they swing out. Once I got my shed all put together, I had to come back through and break up this ground because I wasn't able to open up my doors. You can see it's still catching here just a little bit, and we're going to have to pull that out there, and then I think that we're going to be good to go. But yeah, it's a really nice shed. I'm pretty happy with it. I think that if you was to make the decision to go with a shed like this, I don't think that you're going to be disappointed. It did take us almost 5 hours. Again, the only reason that it took us 5 hours is because the instruction manual, it was not as clear as we hoped it would be. So there were some things that was questionable, some things that we had to redo. But another thing that I would say about this is that I would use a screwdriver rather than an electric screwdriver, just because you can see the holes that you're screwing into here are pretty small holes. Once you get a screw in there, you can strip that out really quick with an electric screwdriver. So I would probably just go with a manual screwdriver, and you're going to be fine. So get a couple of guys together, have a fun afternoon, put together a shed, and it's going to only take you anywhere between 3 and 5 hours. And this is the end result. We're really happy with it.